Hello everyone, welcome once again to another PL300 practice question related tutorial. So here we are discussing about a question that is about importing Excel files from OneDrive for business in Power BI. If you are preparing for the PL300 exam, Microsoft Power BI Data Analytics certification, you need to master not just creating visualization but also connecting to and managing your data sources. And data connectivity and refresh strategy questions are very common on the exam because they test your ability to design reliable and scalable solutions. So the question that came was, it was question 4 of 50, practice assessment for exam PL 300 Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst. Suppose you have multiple Excel files stored in a folder that is synced with OneDrive for business. So a folder is synced with OneDrive for business. You need to import data from the files. The solution must not use a data gateway. So which type of connector should you use? And you have to select only one answer. So when uh, suppose files are given, usually when we are working with projects, files are given in a folder that are there in our computer. But if your files are given in a folder that is synced with OneDrive for business, then it is being asked which type of connector will you use. So here you can see we have different connectors: Excel workbook, Power BI semantic models, and all. So here it is showing Excel workbook, folder connector, SharePoint folder. So if you will click on more, you will see different options like you have file, you have folder here. Okay, then you can see online services like SharePoint online list. You have so many options here. So you can search directly also SharePoint. So you can see SharePoint folder, SharePoint online list, or question may also give SharePoint list. So the correct answer will be SharePoint folder. So because as the name suggests, and this is serviced by Microsoft, when working with OneDrive for business, the correct connector to use in Power BI is SharePoint folder. That is why OneDrive for business is built on top of SharePoint Online. Even though your files appear to be in OneDrive, they are technically stored in a SharePoint document library. The SharePoint folder connector is designed to connect to such locations and can handle scenarios where multiple files are stored in the same directory. Because the data resides in the cloud, that can be Office 365 or SharePoint Online, no on-premises data gateway is required for scheduled refreshes. That is most important. Why not other options? So why Excel workbook? Because this connector is suitable if you want to connect directly to a single Excel file. However, the question clearly states you have multiple Excel files stored in a folder. Then second is folder. This connector works perfectly for local or network file system like C data, Excel files, or some network related instance. Suppose my data is stored in another computer that is on my network, so I will put address of that particular computer. But in this case the folder is stored in OneDrive for business. Then why is SharePoint list not the correct answer? A SharePoint list is a structured data table stored within SharePoint, somewhat like a database table. But in this question you are dealing with Excel files. So if a question says that data is stored within SharePoint somewhat like a database table, so or in a SharePoint list, then you will select this option. So that's why this option is not correct. That's why option number 3 is correct here. Why SharePoint folder works best? Let's see some other examples. So in OneDrive for business is SharePoint Online. So behind the scenes, OneDrive for business is just your personal document library hosted on SharePoint Online. So when Power BI connects to OneDrive for business, it's really connecting to a SharePoint site, then handling multiple sites. The SharePoint folder connector allows you to connect at the folder level. After connecting, you can apply Power Query transformations like filtering files by name, extension, or last modified date. This is very important because when we work with this kind of data, a lot of manual work is required if we will not choose this option. So that you can do expanding the file content into tables and appending multiple Excel files together into a single data set. So recently we were working on a project where a company was giving us data of every day. Okay, so they were giving us Excel files of every day, but in order to create a dynamic dashboard, we had to connect all those files. We had to append all those files together to create a big file. So appending multiple Excel files together into a single data set became a big task. But when we worked with SharePoint folder, like we gave them access so that they can put there, or actually they gave us access. So they started putting them in a single folder, and then it was easier for us to append all files together. So they, this makes it most efficient way to consolidate data stored in multiple Excel files. Third question is schedule refresh without gateway. One of the requirements in the question is that solution must not use a data gateway. If data is stored in on-premise local folders, SQL Server without a cloud connection, etc., you would need a on-premise data gateway for Power BI service to refresh it. But because SharePoint Online is a cloud service, Power BI can refresh the dataset directly without needing a gateway. This eliminates the complexity of maintaining a gateway and ensures smooth automated refresh. Because if automated refresh are not there, you will not get the latest data. Real world scenario is also there. Imagine you are an analyst for a retail chain. Every regional manager uploads their monthly sales report as an Excel file on a shared OneDrive for business folder, something similar that I was mentioning. You have been tasked with creating a Power BI report that combines all these Excel files into a single data set and refreshes automatically. Here's how you would solve it. In Power BI Desktop, use SharePoint folder connector. So when you will click on it, it will ask you site URL, root URL of SharePoint site not included subfolders. Enter the SharePoint site URL, filter for correct folder and file type, use Power Query to transform and combine data, publish the report. So here you can see, obviously you can see some files here that are there on our folder. So ex tips, exploratory analysis, digital marketing analysis. So this is something you can check here. When you are working with a company, they will actually give you this site URL. So that is something that you have to work with. And we will definitely cover one other example where we will demonstrate all of this. So key takeaways here are Excel workbook connector, that is single Excel file only. Folder connector, you can see SharePoint folder connector, best choice for multiple Excel files stored in OneDrive for business. Here on this URL we are uploading different type of questions that are asked in PL 300 exams, and we are also preparing their tutorial videos explaining things something from our end. So please subscribe to our channel so that you can get the notification when we will upload another video about PL 300 exam or Power BI in particular. Thanks for watching, because we are uploading something related to Power BI almost every day.